Ladies and gents, welcome to what is essentially the final before the final in Regicide Rumble 5, and this is on a map called Crosshairs, and every player who's in this game is here because they were fantastic at sniping kings, and on this map, their kings started in a party right in the middle of the map, and they're going to scramble on home and separate, go back towards their bases. It should be an amazing, amazing time. Now, the way this map works is very similar to Chaos Pit if you know it. There's actually no gold in the middle, and so players will have to chop outside to get the gold there. There's plenty of gold on the outside, but things should be action-packed. But again, who is going to be trustworthy here? Who is going to be trustworthy? Because everyone is here because they didn't win, but they played very well and sniped kings, okay? Now, I'm going to get my introductions in, but I want to start with Darth Vader here. So Darth Vader said in their game, man, $75 is a lot of money for a 14-year-old. So apparently Darth Vader is 14 years old, and Darth Vader only sniped one king, but Darth Vader sniped a king with Teutonic Knights and is now going over to Teutonic Tanks and says, Orange, I got in because of Teutonic Knights. You love Teutonic Knights, and is trying to form an alliance off the bat, all right? Now, Tanks was like the player who just could not be killed in the longest game of Regicide Rumble. He was 1v2 for like 2 hours, eventually fell into third place there. He's really good, and so I think he's one of the favorites here. He's playing as the Spanish. Next to him in the teal, we have John Perkins. John Perkins was top 3 on day 1, game 1. And he had 2 king snipes in that game, which puts him here. He's playing as the Magyars. In the gray, we have Arizona Ranger. Arizona Ranger, one of 2 people in Regicide Rumble to kill 4 kings. He did not win that game. The title of the eventual YouTube video for this one will be The Great Politician. Or I was debating doing The Great Gaslighter. He just kept telling people that he was going to help, and he never helped at all. It was hilarious. He may be known now, but he's playing here as the Persians. In the yellow, we have Sully. Sully also only sniped 1 king, but he sniped the greatest player to sign up for Regicide Rumble 5 in 13 minutes in with a villager. So Sully made it in. As Sully is playing as the Mongols here. Sully is a fantastic player, and since there's less pros in this one, it may have a little bit less of a target on his back. In the purple, we have 7K. 7K, I believe, was second place in a Hill Forts game. Ended up getting 2 snipes in that, playing as the Burgundians. In the blue, we've got Eli. Eli got 2 snipes in that crazy houseboat game. Yes. Eli said, first he wasn't sure if he could make it. Then he said, okay, I can make it. I may be hungover, though. So apparently Eli, he had a good time last night. I don't know where he's at exactly. Haven't spoken to him this morning. Hopefully how bright his computer monitor isn't giving him a headache right now. He's playing as the Hindustanis, also one of the favorites. And then last but not least, we got Raven. Raven, 3 snipes in his game. Played very well, but failed to secure his king in the end. His king was out in the open. And that's our introductions, okay? So they were chatting this whole time. Gray and Orange kind of talking to each other. Kind of over John, which is interesting. And I want to listen to Sully here. So Sully goes, my low elo friends, we must unite to defeat the good players TM, or we are toast. And he says, keep Tanks in your pocket. Snipe him later. GG easy no re. Eli and Raven are 400 elo the best players. And then they actually have 3 Americans in this game. 4 Americans in this game. Apparently Vader is from America. And so Purple has noticed that and is saying Sully, Eli, Vader, USA Alliance. Barbecue and King Snipes, says Sully. Okay, so this gets interesting. I don't know if we've probably had 4 Americans in a Diplo game before, but it's not always this obvious, and there's not money on the line. Still $25 per King Snipe here and placement prizes. Vader says, also I'm in a team with Teutonic Tanks. And Eli is like, dude, he's not American. What are we doing? Now, I think what Sully said beyond the whole America thing, but what Sully said is actually very important here. So we've got 3 players who are 2K plus, only 3. That would be Tanks, who's in the orange. That'd be Raven, who's in the green. That'd be Eli who's in the blue. So actually, Eli and Raven being next to each other is somewhat notable. And actually, if they wanted to sandwich anybody, they might want to sandwich Vader. And then they could all three live together. So, things to think about. So apparently, Vader is bringing in tanks into the conversation with some of the others right now. And Sully is complaining about Arbase, who is our admin. Yes, it is all Arbase's fault. It is not my fault. It is all Arbase. I definitely didn't work on this as well. And they're all calling Arbase an egg, which is just, you know, pretty commonplace at this point these days. I want to look at resources. So there's less than 1 million wood on the map, but it seems like there's a lot. It's all on the outside. And then the gold's pretty plentiful as well. Just no gold in the middle, remember. And I think, like, trade should be pretty epic here, right? Like, trade from corner to corner should be a big possibility here. But yeah, welcome, guys. I think Sully has done the right thing to try and unite the lower elo players. I wonder if the higher elo players will feel as though they have a target on their back. The red has not realized the gold is on the outside yet, and is just now building a lumber camp here. So that's going to be a bit of an issue for red. But red will eventually get there. And thank you, Bolpy. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for the subs. Just seeing people happy, seeing people pumped in chat has been so good. I told my fiance last night, I haven't had this fun with content in a really long time. Like, I actually had to have a moment after the stream yesterday. I was like rewatching clips and highlights because it was so fun. And I actually had to assess, and I was like, dude, you need to settle down. You need to settle down. You have to stop being so excited. You're getting too excited. So I'm trying to keep it settled for now. But the excitement will come later. Arizona Ranger just speaking to Sully right now. They are neighbors. Sully's on the outside. And again, they have to go out there to find their gold. Another day without small trees. Hope that's cool. Red's the one player right now who's like really had a rough start here. Again, 14 years old. Can you imagine telling your parents, hey, I just earned $75 in front of thousands of people playing a game older than yourself? Like, pretty crazy situation there for Darth Vader. I was a little bummed he couldn't get Teutons, though. Teutons were banned out in the draft, so. Raven hasn't chatted too much. Raven is saying hi now. He's saying hi to everybody. Sully just making sure that he's friends with his neighbors. That would be Arizona Ranger, and that would be 7K. Remember, Arizona Ranger, John Perkins, 7K. I think those three are the lower ranked players. Darth Vader, I don't know his rank, but I know he played like an absolute god in late game. He played like he was 1800, in my opinion, in late game, so. And his Diplo's good, too. He says, our civs are good together. They go well together. Camel Archers and Mamelukes. And Raven says, you are on private chat, right? And it makes sense to be friends again. Yes. Like, Darth Vader's in the roughest spot in terms of who he's next to. He's next to two 2K players here, so. Yes. Thank you, Maelstrom. Perkins. Oh, Tank says, Mom always told me to not take what's not yours. And John says, wise woman. And Tank says he loves his mom. Oh, that's cute. Apparently Darth Vader's 1450. Okay, well, he can hold his own then. So, again, I think trade is going to be the biggest deal. Look at this, though. So Arizona is actually walling this. He did make a gate, so I guess if he's allied with Sully, this could be fine. But the fact he's walling this up could make Sully feel some kind of way. Red nervous and shaking. And yeah, let's not forget about that, guys. Like, easy to sit back and say what someone shoulda, woulda, coulda done. But, you know, the pressure's on. The expectations are there. I'm sure a lot of people watching have a thought of how they would... You guys all have a key line of what you would say in a game, yes, right? If you were to find the right moment for it. Hard to get there. Now, Raven, I think this is important. He says, we can reach top 3 if we stick together. What do you say? And Eli says, yes. I mean, why not? These two are top 3 players in this game. They're next to each other. Why not go for it? They absolutely should. The only thing that Raven doesn't know is that Eli's spoken to the other Americans, but... There's been so much Diplo. Imagine that, guys. We get to the finals and people actually know how to Diplo. Guess what we're also not going to see? We're probably not going to see someone accidentally send their king into the enemy's base. We're probably also not going to see someone lose their king and have it just sit out in the middle of the map for like an hour before getting killed. We're probably also not going to see two people fight each other, even though they said they want to be friends with each other, but then the messages didn't get to the person they want to be friends with, and then somebody is funding both sides of the war. Which is just some of the hilarious things that we saw in the games. Oh, man. Guys, like, so many of the players that screwed up have already been like, God, I get it now. I get it. Like, I learned my lesson. Like, let's do another one, you know? Which is exciting. It is a bit of a bummer that people made such foolish mistakes being such good players, but it is to be expected. It is just to be expected. When you got pros who only play pro settings. I personally have loved the trend that the best players in the games, in terms of ranked, have usually died early. That's been a really enjoyable trend. And it's not because of their lack of skill, necessarily. It's because the others are simply just better at these settings. Prioritizing the trade, great diplomacy, things like that. There's almost too much chat here, but Teutonic Tank's really going at it. He says, yo, Raven, we team up with Gray for full trade. That's a bit of a weird one because Raven is here. So I don't know how you're supposed to go from green to orange to gray and get trade. But yeah, could happen. I think Tanks was trying to get these relics and Gray is walled over here with stone. So that would make me think that Gray does not want to work with Tanks. As Sully says, is Tank still a pal? Let's use him to help kill Eli and Raven. Well, so much for the American Alliance. Sully doesn't care about the American Alliance. I think he cares about the low Elo Alliance, which that transcends what country you're from. But I think the American Alliance would at least have Eli in it, and he would be a good carry player potentially. So Sully just says, we want to get the big Elo boys out of here. Will you join us? He's actually inviting Tanks into this. And Tanks says, I have something personal with this Eli rat. I help. Ooh, well, what's the drama there? What's the drama there? Was that from Regicide Rumble 4? Can someone check? Because they didn't play in the same game in Regicide Rumble 5. Let's see. Tanks. I'm trying to think. Eli and Tanks were both actually orange in their games. Is that it? Did they fight over color? What happened? Eli gives purple a pig and says, that is my fattest hog. Very kind. I'm trying to think about this. Who did Eli kill? Can someone remind me? Oh, wait. Eli killed Barrels, maybe? Eli killed Barrels. Oh, you guys are saying it's in the chat and I missed it. Okay. If I missed the chat, let me know. What was said? I'm just trying to go up here and see it. There's been so much. And I must have missed that then. Did I scroll past it? Eli said something? Tanks wrote about it? I'm looking, man. When you guys T90 blind me like this, it makes me so stressed out. Because I feel like it should be so obvious. I'm not seeing it, man. I'm not seeing it. Tell me what he said. I missed it. All right, well. It was the message right after. Right after what? Right after who? Right after what? Oh, wait. He literally just... Oh, he killed me in a free-for-all before I could do anything. Oh, okay. So, yes, it was a previous event in a Civ Builder event. So they have some history. Okay. My bad. I'm sorry. That was very embarrassing. Welcome to Low Elo Legends Caster Edition. I told you there was 5 low elo players in the game. I forgot to tell you I'm a low elo caster. My bad. All right, so there's bad blood between those two. We got markets from Sully. Now he's going to trade down to John. Now again, they are bordering Teutonic Tanks, which is an issue, I think, because Tanks is just a far better player than John. This would then bring Arizona Ranger into the fold to help defend him, potentially. Now, Sully is inviting kind of everyone to trade towards him, so I think this would include tanks. Tanks could walk through this gate and do that. And we also could have Eli in the north trade down here to Sully potentially as well. Now, look at this. Vader being the little snitch here. Look at this. Vader, again, 14 years old, goes to Eli now and says, Sully wants to gang up on the high elo players. This is an interesting approach. What's better, teaming with 4 lower elo players when you're a lower elo player yourself, or gaining the trust of 2 pros? Yes. I think I might want to gain the trust of 2 pros in Red's position, especially when he's currently sandwiched between all the pros. So I think it's a smart play. He says, "Are we tight?" So he's going to make sure that they're solid. And Sully is making a joke, which is not his best work, says more markets equals better prices, right? I'm pretty sure every 10 markets you get money off. Yeah, that's just not how it works. But, you know, sounds like something that could be advertised somewhere there, Sully. Eli says, I think high elo players doesn't really matter in Diplo. That's an interesting approach that Sully's kind of deflecting this offer. And Red says to everyone, guys, I want to thank my mom and sister and my dad who introduced me to this game before I die. Yes. Okay, well, Darth Vader, if you restructure your sentence there, it sounds much better. If you say, guys, before I die, comma, I want to thank my mom and sister and my dad who introduced me to this game. Putting the before I die at the end, it comes off a little ominous, you know? But shout out to them. Shout out to the family. It's so cool. And John Perkins says, by the way, chat, my sub the T90s channel ran out yesterday. Are you fishing for a gifted sub right now, John? You know you're in this because you killed kings. You're getting $50 from me. That's what? That's like 10 months of subbing, bro. He's fishing for a gifted sub. That's next level stuff. Okay. All right. Raven, more interested in the game here, is asking about an alliance with Red. And Red is apparently scared. And Eli now says, Sully wants to go after high elo players. He has Mongol strong civ. Yeah, I think Darth Vader snitching on Sully is going to be a whole talking point here. Sully may be focused down in some way. Mongols are indeed really strong. Looking at the trade setup, we're going to have Red. I don't know what direction he's going to trade. I would guess to the north. We've got 7K, who's been awfully quiet. One of the underdogs, of course, trading to the west, trading to Sully, which we also now see from Eli. Eli says, I feel like there's a silent 6-player low elo team. Yes. Yeah, I could see it. Now, here's a question. I don't actually know the answer to this. So, by the way, people are gifting subs to John Perkins, but they've gotten the wrong John Perkins. I'm pretty sure both of those John Perkins are wrong. He spells his name differently. So, shout out to the 2 separate John Perkins that have never heard of me that are going to get notifications about getting subs. I'm pretty sure those are not the John Perkins. Anyways, so does anyone know? So the Hindustanis have a unique building, which makes their trade faster. Does that work in Diplo? Because like, does it work where it's helping your ally, and then if you turn on them, their trade gets slower again? I actually have no clue. It would be really good for trade, but it'd be kind of interesting in Diplo. Hey, John, can I have that relic? And then John says, tanks took one close to me, but okay. Really focused on the relics here is Greg. Greg talked about it earlier as well. Big relic player. Raven says, I might jump Red. If you jump Red, you are dead to me. Eli says, I don't know. He's giving me good information. I think he could be loyal. Thank you, Eli. Now, in all fairness, Raven hasn't been talking to Red, so he doesn't realize. I think Red is actually a very valuable ally for that team, and also very good for this story. Because Red's approach, like, it might be a situational approach. Being wedged in between the pros and trying to team with them is way better than trying to team with the low elo brethren on the other side. Straight up. I think. I'm not saying it's going to work out, but I think it makes sense. This is very cluttered right now. Very, very cluttered. And Darth Vader says to green and to orange, who do we want to go to first? Did not include Eli in that conversation. And you got to remember, from Tanks, Eli, and Raven's point of view, they are going to see... They are going to be threatened by each other. At least long term. So they need each other, but... they are going to want to keep an eye on the other strong players here. Darth Vader says, honestly, Green Raven, I think he is prepping for Wonder. Who is prepping for Wonder? Tanks? Wonder right now would be pretty crazy, in my opinion. But we have seen lots of Wonders. I think Wonders make more sense when everyone's distracted on one side and less people are out of the game. Like, building a Wonder too early just unites everyone against you, which is not what you want. Sully says, Vader, you can see where his king is. It's the one building with a flag on it. Well, yes. That would be the king right there. It's very silent. These players are experienced. It is very cluttered on the outside. This is a sick map. We do have purple making Cavalier and maybe soon Paladin towards the middle here. Yeah, Wonder in the center would be pretty sick. But there's a lot of reasons to be on the outside right now and not in the center. Look at the stockpiles already. Crazy. Like, Tanks is 5k gold with 63 on gold. Vader's got 2k gold with 60 on gold. Raven's got 2k gold with 50 on gold. Just crazy trade counts. And basically, the players with the least trade, the players that don't favor the most. Sully's getting up there, but still behind. Same with 7k, same with Arizona. And Raven actually saying to John, I wonder if there was a bit of pre-Diplo where they're like, hey, I'm going to be in the snipers game. Do you want to be my low elo support buddy? Because that's weird. They're talking across the map now. But Raven clearly doesn't trust Tanks. And I mean, Tanks is fortifying. But again, I think Tanks can go for Wonder later. I don't think Tanks going for Wonder now would make sense. Also, type a 1 in chat if you feel like Tanks should have gone for a Wonder in his game against, you know, in the final 3. What was that, yesterday? I think, like, it was 2v1 anyways. I think YOLOing a Wonder there could have actually given him a chance at winning. John says, is he the one you want dead first, Raven? And Eli says, Raven, I think we have to hit 7k and Sully now. 2 Americans, by the way. This is very anti-American decision here, Eli. So much for waving the good old red, white, and blue, buddy. I guess maybe it is a very American thing to just not agree or side with other Americans. But I mean, still, purple's a bottom score player. But bottom score is $25. Top score is $25 when it comes to Regicide Rumble. So Ravens doesn't seem to be opposed to that. And Tanks is now speaking to Red about who we go for. And Darth just says, let's go for who you want. So Darth is going to be, you know, there's going to be a team player here. He's not going to take charge. Doesn't want to make any waves. Wants to be supportive because otherwise orange could be a problem. Now, Raven says we're going to hit purple and Sully. Darth says that sounds like a plan. It is interesting, though. Darth is saying that, and orange will see that and be like, what plan? I wonder if Darth is going to tell the others what's coming. And Darth says, I think we do too, me and Eli. Now, again, the more he chats like this, the more Teutonic Tanks will realize he's talking to someone else. I don't know if Tanks is picking up on it. Tanks doesn't seem to be too alarmed here. And he says, I think for the best, for you, best is to get rid of blue, high skill. Okay, well, now Vader's saying yes to that. Vader's got to be careful with chat.
Yes.
And Sully saying, how is everyone doing? Grace is chill. Tanks is fine. But yeah, purple's going to need help. Sully wants to chat and go for some crazy Diplo. There was a militia in that castle. What? There's a militia in this castle. What? But, like, there's also a militia in this castle. What?
Yes.
Sully says, I want to punish those who dare become good at this game. Okay, so, I mean, his plan is to punish the pros, but I mean, if you want to pick a fight with pros and people find out about it preemptively, you and all your pals are going to go down here, Sully, and that's what happened. All because of Vader, by the way. All because Vader said it way long ago. Eli's going to have no hesitation. Purple's bottom score. Purple, you know, probably half of Eli's elo. Purple's going to turn, but Imp Camel shreds Paladin. And so does Heavy Camo with Camel Archer as well. So support is needed. Sully's saying let's go, so he seems to be ready to support. And Darth is now saying to green and to orange, let's kill Eli. But purple actually holds that. What in the world? What did I miss? Purple did a decent enough job there. The king also had to run. We have a castle drop from Eli here. And so the king from purple is running. And Sully says, surprise, surprise, the high elos team up. It won't be so easy. Okay, so he's like, he's basically like, called it. I knew you guys would freaking gang up on us. I think they would have ganged up on him regardless, but the fact that Darth Vader told them the situation didn't help. And purple just now speaks and says under attack. So it seems like Arizona Rangers here in support. Not the biggest fan of the choice of Persian Cav Archers, personally. Mangadai, on the other hand, could be good. Still feels like there needs to be more army here. They're gathering it up. At least there's two people that have purple's back right now. Purple might need to try and save villagers. Purple could run to the left corner and boom there. Purple's actually destroying this castle right now. Janna's going to be in support too. So another lower elo player chips in, and suddenly the numbers are looking really good. And Raven and Eli might actually regret this situation. Now, I'm curious, will Darth Vader choose a side? If Darth helps the high elo players, certainly that's going to be better for them. And Mamelukes are a really good unit choice. And now this is maybe going to be rough again for John, for Sully, and for Arizona Ranger. Now, hold on. Vader attacked. He allied John again and has now stopped. Remember, he's 14 years old. I think he's conflicted here. He wants to back up the lower elo brethren. He also doesn't want to make the high elo players mad. So he, like, showed some aggression, but stopped it. And remember, guys, do you remember his line when he got called out before? Oh, my God! He's going to make a move for Eli right now! He is making a move for Eli right freaking now! Are you kidding me? 14 years old! And Eli can't believe it. Eli's on the move. Eli's on the move. The Mamelukes are faster. Eli has to quick gate for his life. The Mamelukes are on the move. Don't tell me he's actually going to survive this. Vader's a god for trying it, but he has been evaded by Eli. And it's unfortunate for Vader. That would have been another epic snipe for him in Regicide Rumble, but that shakes things up massively. Okay. So now Vader could be dead. All the pros could kill him. Green could turn on him. And Eli says, Vader, let's be friends. We trade. We're trying to form some type of agreement.
Yes.
Vader can't believe he didn't get it. Now, hold on a second. Yeah, there's some overchops here. And I think Darth realizes, okay, I'm not going to get the epic snipe. Okay. Now, what this did, guys, was this saved purple, and this saved Sully from a lot of things. It was so close. Honestly, like, he's going to be kicking himself he didn't get it. He could have, maybe should have gotten that king. As long as his Mamelukes were just around the castle. It's the classic mistake. You've got to turn when your Mamelukes are around the castle. You can't turn before. Anyways, Eli says, I forgive you. Which is surprising, but good recognition from Eli that he needs to have this trade route. Because he can't trade the other way now, so. Wow, okay. Crazy game. Crazy, crazy game. Darth Vader's going to offer resources to make up for it. Eli just drops a heart. Shulker in chat says, I wouldn't forgive him. Shulker, does that mean you haven't forgiven Snippy yet? Or is it too soon? Eli's amazing, dude. Eli says, I think we're stronger because of this. Wow, okay. And Raven says, I'm sending a message to all but tanks. We need to clear him. He's turtling. Yeah, that's interesting. This is crazy turtling from tanks, actually. That's a good call out. And tanks also didn't help anyone in that fight. And tanks was like impossible to kill in the game he played this week. There's the resources from Vader to Eli. Sully says, Eli is an enemy to you. Just go in there. Dude, Sully is just like the devil on the shoulder here. I don't think it's wise for Red to do that right now. Eli can forgive you once, but if you're going to go again, it has to be later on, I think. Raven saying we need to focus tanks. Then you do what you like. And, yeah, I mean, tanks is just... Let's look at stockpiles here. He has more trade than anybody, and he's Spanish. He's got top score. I think he might be the best player in the game, based on how he played before. Very important. The Raven says we got to clear him now before he fortifies up. Red is... I think he thinks he's speaking to green, but it's only going to Eli right now. Listen, these low elo players aren't happy. They're not happy that Eli did that. And so they're not actually finished. And Sully... He says if Vader doesn't figure his shit out quick, he is with Eli and not us. Ooh. Poor Vader. He's going to have... Like, again, he had to choose. Does he want the pro players on his team or does he want the low elo players? Low elo is unfair, by the way. The average Joes, we should say. Tank saying to Red, like, let's try Eli again. Who's let's? Who's us? I haven't seen an us move from you yet, Tanks. He did move forward, but he's not supporting Eli. They want to kill him off. The only thing I am sure of is that gray and yellow are together, and teal is with them. So that is a solid team of 3, and purple as well. Purple is just kind of dead right now. Really hurts that Sully hasn't opened this up. Purple needs to get... I think he's lacking experience. You need markets down here, and you just need to be trading towards teal, who's your teammate. Treason researched. King has been pinged by Arizona. And Eli here to defend himself. Now, truthfully, against the army comp that's coming in, pure Imp Camel is pretty good. Because it's like Paladins and Cav Archers, and Imp Camel can deal with all that. So, Teal needs to be here as well in support to provide a bit of a meat shield. Tanks is just booming up. Raven, I think the correct play to call out, you know, that they need to attack tanks, but he needs to rally the troops. He needs to have enough people on board. And he's saying, I cannot betray Eli because then I'll be out of trade. Yeah, Raven cannot attack Eli. Raven and Eli are tied together through trade for life at this point. So that would be crazy if both of those two had no trade suddenly. Now, what's not the case is if, like, Vader... What Vader could do is Vader could switch his trade to Eli, and then he could turn on tanks. Tanks can't turn on Vader either, just because of the trade situation. Vader sending more resources to Eli, because Eli's pretty much defending himself. And hold on. Guys, these players don't trust each other. These top 3, they do not trust each other at all. And Tanks was about to make a move. He saw the king was in a tower, or... Well, it is actually in a tower behind the castle. That's sneaky. He started to run in. He didn't say just passing, so maybe that's why it didn't work. But Eli immediately turned on him and will not let that happen. Darth now saying to yellow and to blue that he's going for a snipe. Now, I swear to God, if he means on tanks, this kid's a legend. Guys, he killed someone with Teutonic Knights and siege towers. He already made a move on Eli. Probably should have killed him. He was super close. I think he's going to make a move on tanks. I think he will. I could be wrong. Orange, get those castles out of here, please, says Vader. Yeah, so I think he's threatened by tanks. And this position of the trade for tanks would kill all of Eli and Green's trade. This is crazy if it's allowed to happen. We'll see if Tanks chooses to delete it or ignore it. We got Sully making a move. Sully making a move against Eli. Eli chose to run. Eli chose to run like a madman. I thought he was near a castle. The king is on the move. Eli quick walling. The Mangadai can't path there. And Eli actually survives again. We got Rams coming in. But the army now, because of chasing the king, is out of position. And Sully will not be able to kill Eli. Apparently, we are dropping frames right now, which is not good. I think we're going to be back. Just refresh everybody. I don't know what happened there. I think whoever runs my internet company is a big Eli fan, and they couldn't bear to see it. We got more activity coming Eli's way. Eli could have died, maybe should have died twice now. And here comes Teutonic Tanks. Does he have enough? I mean, Eli needs to turn. And Green also isn't helping. So, a lot of stuff happening right now. And here comes the move. Is Eli going to be finished off? Or will his Imp Camel save him here? Raven looks too tempted. It looks like if this king hops out, he wants to turn and take the king. But the king's not going to hop out, so I don't think he'll turn. This is definitely not a supportive ally, though, because he didn't actually defend. Vader now making a move. Vader is actually making a move on Sully. And Sully says, Vader, is it your first day? Question mark. Dude, Vader can't help himself. He can't help himself. He says, I'm super nervous. I don't know what to do. Okay, so guys, for those that didn't see Vader's game, obviously you got to go back and rewatch it. It was a great one. So he had an ally, which was like so good for him, but he couldn't help himself. And he looked very money motivated to get the snipe when he sniped blue. And I think he shouldn't have sniped blue. He would have won the game if he wouldn't have sniped his teammate. But he did it. And then I found out he was 14 years old. And I said, oh, that makes sense. I was like, that makes sense. Going for the snipes. This is what we want in a sniper's game, is a little bit of greed, you know? Tank says, let's go. We're going to kill Eli. Let's go for Eli. Vader now allies Sully again. And yeah, Vader seems stuck. I mean, it's a ballsy play to go after tanks. You can't do that. To be fair, Vader is actually doing stuff. A lot of other players are not. Look at 7K now attacking Eli. Eli's like barely hanging on here. If I'm Eli, I'm really annoyed with red, and I'm really annoyed with green. I'm not receiving support. Like, Raven's just not helping him. Where's Raven's army even? Yeah, like, these guys are playing for the long haul. They're not being supportive allies. I would be saying something. Because I think, like, especially green and blue, I think that could be an alliance to get them top 3, and I thought they talked about that. I don't know if red truly doesn't know what to do, but saying so is probably the right move so people don't get upset. Red, Sully is calling him out constantly. He's saying, do you get your directions wrong, Vader? He's like, what? I thought Vader was going to help. And here's Vader. I mean, Vader's looking for kills somewhere at some point. And now Darth, not a big fan of Sully, and is going to turn on Sully. And Arizona says Raven enemy. I mean, this was expected, I think, that Raven would enemy. But what does that actually mean? Oh, well, Raven's defending his trade. Yeah, Gray is killing his trade, and he's going to defend his trade. But is he going to defend Eli? Eli has been holding like 1v4 this game, it feels like. Tanks is attacking Eli, remember. His king, Eli's king, is not too far away. His trade is not too far away. Eli will die here. Eli will die. Eli will die. And John just died. John just died to Tanks. Tanks swooped in. I think he attack grounded him here. Oh my god, John still had his king in the tower, people. And so Tanks rolls in with 10 bombard cannons, attack grounds it, and attack grounds again. And that is just as clean as it gets. Beautiful play from Tanks. He's in the King Snipe final for a reason. He's one of the favorites here. And John was the one talking about how he could be a problem. And they were just too focused on Eli for the time being. Now, Eli's king could be the next to go down. Still feels like he's got barely enough to hold. And Tank says, Hopper, this is a good strategy. Sorry for stealing it. Now, he says that to Red, though. Hopper will be in our final later on today. Eli says, Raven, I run my king to you. Either you get the bounty or I stay safe longer. Up to you. I mean, Raven hasn't helped you at all, but I guess Raven hasn't hurt you. And yeah, King is going to run here for Eli. He knows he's about to go down. And now Vader is apparently on Gray somewhere. I do not know where. And Eli's king has been killed by the camel archers. Green literally just sniped it. Guys, this is hilarious. It's the king snipers game. And these guys can't freaking help themselves. This is precisely what I wanted. Green could have saved him. And he's like, nah, easy money, bro. Easy money. 25 bucks in the bank. Let's go. And actually, Eli was still allied with him. So now he could still trade to Eli, no problem. That's the biggest deal here, because Eli never turned on him. Raven says, leave his markets. I want to trade. Wow, so he's going to kill him, use his markets for trade. Savage. And we got 6 players remaining. All right, so Eli's out of the game. The American Alliance did not go well. The two players who died are from the USA. But we still got Sully and 7K waving that flag, baby. Waving that flag. Do you ever see the gif of the guy in like the hurricane in the middle of the road? Almost getting blown over by the winds and holding the flag? That's those two right now. So, Tanks is still buddy-buddy with Red. Now, knowing Red, I think Red's going to try and make an epic move on Tanks at some point. If it doesn't work, though, that might be his end. Tanks is pretty much only allied with Red. Raven, talking to Purple, talking to Gray, talking to Yellow about killing them. So, it could be like a 4v2. Vader saying we should kill Gray now. And yeah, I mean, that works. That's as good as any. I like the defense here from Gray. T90 dissing John, calling him American. Is he not American? Oh, he's from the UK. Oh, shoot. Okay. I didn't know that. I'm sorry, John. I'm sorry. My bad. I got it wrong. Who am I missing here? Oh, Vader's American. That's right. Vader's American, 7K's American, and Sully's American. It's fine. It's fine. We're like closely related compared to other countries. All is forgiven? Okay. Raven says, we need to reach top 3, Sully. Message only to you. Gray is too weak. Purple as well. Sully says, I'd be happy with that. Help me kill Vader. Ooh. He says, do you want to go after Vader or Tanks? I think you're right about the Wonder. Well, if Tanks wants to Wonder, he doesn't have a corner, which would actually make things really complicated. And Tanks can't fully protect his trade easily either, unless he does this and fortifies up. Now, this is what you can't let people do. You can't let people tower up your trade route like this. Because now if he turns on them, all the trade goes down. And then here as well, if he turns on them, all the trade goes down. So he has all the trade castled. Except for any trade that would run from the north to the west. Which I guess would be Purple's trade right now. Green saying we need to kill Tanks. Far too afraid of the Wonder. And now Vader, little snitch, says Tanks, Green wants to kill you. Tanks is what? Hold up. Okay, so, I mean, Tanks is... Dude, he's playing dumb. You know he wants to kill you. Raven said, just drunk a cup? Tanks is us versus Gray, Yellow, Purple. Well, you're forgetting Green, though. It's a 4v2. But Tanks is, yo, Raven, this is kind of 3v3. Well... It is if Raven agrees to your deal, but Raven is talking to everybody else right now. But this might be good for Raven. He says, me, you, and Red versus the others. They would stomp the others. It wouldn't even be close. So they would get top 3. Raven says, I asked a long time ago and no reply. Let's see if Teutonic Tanks apologizes. He says, if we backstab others, we lose all trade in GG. I don't know, man. So many writing shite, especially yes. Sully. Well, that's fair. This guy doesn't play in community games frequently, so he doesn't know what Sully's like. He's a chatty character. Sully's making some good call-outs, though. He called out the pros, which he was correct on, I think. He wasn't expecting Vader to be a backstabber. And he says, too many Wonder victories in this Regicide Rumble. This is coming from the guy who won with a Wonder victory in Regicide Rumble 4. So you could shuddy. He says, good job holding against Eli 7. Yeah, that was well played from Purple. I'm with you, too, on chat. True Tanks. Wonder threat from you is big. Sully signaling this, kind of stirring the pot. Green and red just sitting next to each other. Sully's like, this looks very trusting. And Darth says, Sully, shut up. Dude, I think Sully... Red feels bad now for saying shut up. Sully says, okay, Dogal and Lewis, because those two couldn't rest. He says, I can't deal with so many messages. I feel like Sully's going to really appreciate Red. Like, I think initially he was annoyed with Red, but considering the context, I'm loving Red's personality in this game. Vader is actually great. Sully says the key is to forget to play the game. All right, so listen, here's the deal. Tanks is banking so many resources, it's not even freaking funny. Everyone is correct that Tanks is a problem. Every single person. Tanks is literally just camping and chatting. That's it. He has tried to help with Eli. He did kill John, so it's not like he did nothing. He has been active. He's been the best player in the game. But his score is high. Everyone should be thinking about it. Tank says, you're writing smack behind my back. And then Sully says, I do not talk like that. Vader publicly apologizes. Vader says, I was just so stressed. I mean, I think Vader's being legit. Sometimes people will apologize and it's like all a lie. I think he's in a big moment here. Like, this is a lot of pressure. Guys, let's first kill Gray, then we can decide whatever you want. And this makes a lot of sense for Tanks to say yes to. And then Purple's going to ask for friendships with Red. All right, so I'm going to call out what Green is making an awful blunder here, which is so tweakable with a little bit more experience. So Green is thinking, oh my God, I can't turn on Tanks because I lose my trade. Dude, you just trade the other way. You just trade from here all the way down here, and then you can actually fight against Tanks no problem. It's not like you can't change a trade route. Purple and Red are allies again, by the way. And that'd be the same for Vader as well. Like, if you trade in a different area, the fortifications that Tanks have gone for, I mean, just shamelessly gone for, it's not going to be as much of a power. Now, I still think, like, Raven and Vader, their easiest top 3 is to team with Tanks and kill the others. It is the easiest play to guarantee top 3. It might not be what the people want, but yeah. Purple says, you had bombard cannons in my base. Did he have bombard cannons in his base? Gray says, was moving bombard cannons. I'm going to green. Corner boy strong. Nice one. Okay. I mean, I'm still trying to figure out exactly where we're at right now. Also, I want to turn it to military mode for a second. What do you guys think about that? It's a bit easier to see the clumps of army, maybe. Like, I could see Teal. Well, Teal's dead. Oh. This might actually be nice every now and then, so I could see little bombard cannons wheeling around. Darth says, what if we go kill everyone else first, then we see who wants to kill among us? Raven says, let's do it. Yeah, it's the best play. Sully's trying to get everyone to go against Tanks because he built too many keeps. But it would be, because now Teal is dead, it's basically going to be, yeah, 3v3. And it's, not only is it like the 2 higher elo players on the same team, but Vader is also really good. Vader's 1400. I think Sully's a bit higher than that, but I don't know about the others.
No.
Now Raven is going to Sully saying, do we kill 7? 7, like Raven needs to make a decision. What side are you on here, bro? hope Raven does something that's very typical for him, like not put his king inside a castle, and then I can say, that's so Raven. If you know, you know. Ray a little worried about things. Here comes Vader in the middle. Gets turned on by Sully. Now, Vader hadn't turned on him yet, but Vader was looking suspicious. And so for the third time this game, Sully and Vader go at it. I want Sully and Vader to be like the last three in the final three and just see the drama that unfolds. Red laughing, he forgot to turn. But it's about to go down here in the middle. Tanks now allies Sully? I don't understand that. Sully now turns on tanks? Well, he put Sully on neutral. And Sully's telling people tanks and Vader. This is not going to surprise Green. Green's going to be like, yeah, it makes sense. Because I've been hearing about this for a long time. Yo, Lego, thank you, says, I have had enough beer for the day. Oh, he said, I had enough time for beer the other day. This tournament is super entertaining. Well, hey, thank you. I don't think Sully's going to be pleased with this. This is the ghost of Mr. Yo coming back to haunt him right here. That's what this is. Yep. You got Sully teamed with the two lowest players remaining in the game and being surrounded by 3 players, and no support is here yet. This is a problem for Sully. A community game legend, sure. But chose to team up against the big names, and the others kind of rallied together. Sully is expecting Green to be a friend, and he's trying to tell Green, no, not now. Oh, he's telling Gray not now. Raven and Ranger is kind of confusing. Ranger is currently defending from Vader. Vader making some crazy progress. Vader trying to wheel in past the castle. Vader wants that money. Wants that 25 bucks. So he still hasn't turned on Green. Hasn't realized. Still hasn't turned on Green. That's a lot of military coming in from purple in support. It's a lot of paladins. And says Raven SMH. I can't believe Raven has done this. And purple's going to turn on these guys here in a second, too. I think green and orange should realize and turn on him. The Teutonic tanks didn't realize, didn't change his position yet. And, yeah, it's going to be a big old battle. But, I mean, the camels are just a problem. Red hasn't turned yet. Sully knows now. Sully knows. Well, he's saying exactly what the teams are, and it's basically a 3v3, right?
Yes.
Also, people talking about ads. These games go well over an hour, and there's always a little bit of ads per hour, right? So it's natural there's going to be ads in-game. For regular games, we try not to do it, of course, but there's really no avoiding it. Sorry about it, but I have it on the lowest possible. The trade is going down for Raven because of leftover CA from Arizona. And he doesn't realize that's crazy. He's going to lose every single trade card. So for a player who was really concerned about not turning on someone to save the trade, Arizona's going to kill all of his trade, and Raven's going to have no gold. He's got 5k gold with 5 gold workers. Meanwhile, Tanks is 55,000 gold. And Raven's asking for more gold. 55k is crazy. It's way higher than what he had before. Now, hold on. Who turned on who? Oh, it's the trade. Is that trade from... I actually can't figure out what's happening here. It's probably trade Oh, it's Gray Villagers. I don't know why there's Gray Villagers in there. Yep, just random Gray trade cards as well. Oh, Gray was trading with him. Oh my god. Did Tanks... Oh, the wall from Tanks affects their trade. And their trade is pathing through Tanks' base. Oh, crap. Oh, that's crazy. Okay. That's crazy. There's probably some gates that were locked too. A lot of different things happen. Green realizes his trade route got destroyed. Well, this just gets better and better for Tanks. I don't know what more to say. It's also better and better for Vader because now green is less of a threat. Green says...
Yes.
So Sully says, you really think you can take out Tanks? Color me skeptical. So he's like, dude, whatever you're doing right now is just making it easier for Tanks. I don't think your plan is good. Which I agree. Sully's 100% right. Is he right or is he wrong, chat? He's right. Especially now. I think, like, Raven losing trade, it could maybe make him think about trading the other way now. I don't know. He's made a lot of enemies. Sully is correct. Especially considering the players we're talking about. Now, I guess this is just him turning on John here, just to kill off all the trade from John. But, like, Tanks is both trade corners locked down. Everyone that's allied with him is trading in the corner. And he's got 60k gold. There needs to be some type of a united effort against Tanks at some point. Has to happen. I think it needs to be everybody. It can't be one at a time. But at least if Red turns, then Tanks loses his trade. That's a positive. Guys, Darth Vader, he's tried to snipe allies multiple times. I could see him going for it. But he'd have to do it while Tanks is busy fighting. And in all seriousness, Tanks has been pretty busy fighting for a bit here. He did just research treason to find out king locations. And he just researched treason again to find out king locations. And we'll know about that one. That's what happens when treason's researched. But he has to get through there somehow. And I think he's going to head that way. I think he's going to give it a shot. Hey, Luke, Vulturock, thank you guys. Itzuro, Pyro, thank you everybody. We had CVAD with 57 months. Salutes in chat for CVAD, please. Says, missed the other days. Can I get a quick recap of everything I missed? Oof. Well, all these players are really good at sniping kings and not exactly trustworthy. That's why they're in this game. The final is all the players who won, and they played fantastic Diplo to get there. And they won't be trusted because everyone won. So they're going to be like, oh, shoot. They're going for the victory too. Let's see if progress can be made here by Tanks. Sully says, once I leave, green will come with me. You go south. Okay, Sully's trying to command the low elos right now. I think Sully will actually have to try and convince... Oh my god, Red is losing all these bomber cannons. Oh, that's such a loss. I'm really curious what happens if Sully tries to convince Red to turn on Tanks. I think Red loves to snipe kings, and that Red might actually try it. Gray, in this castle, there's actually a hole in the wall. Paladins are coming through. Tanks actually peels off some paladins to snipe these onagers. He needs to change the attack stance, though. Gray could go down here. Oh, we got war elephants in defense. They need to get to the paladins, though. Gray could go down. This could be snipe number 2 for Tanks in the king snipe game on his route to victory. Raven's actually struggling. Raven's getting pushed by Sully. Sully could kill Raven as well. Crazy things happening here. This could turn into a 2v2. This is really close. I think that Ranger will actually just barely survive here. Castle will stay up. It's really, like, Berbers are great against the Mongols until the siege comes in. Once Siege Onager is in, that's where you start to have some big problems. The Siege Ram too. I don't see Sully killing green yet, but that is a dent in green's base. Red's coming over to help right now. Red also still pushing gray, so gray may die to red. And purple, I think, is like kind of, you know, struggling ever since the early blow. Doesn't have a lot of working trade. Hasn't been able to stabilize well. Everything just still points to this being amazing for Darth Vader and amazing for Tanks. Now, Tanks, if you know you're going to win this game, do you plan a snipe to try and surprise Darth Vader? Especially because if you turn on Vader and start to take out this castle, Vader can't run without the castle and the tower taking out the king. That's kind of an interesting aspect of having towers around where the king is. Mamelukes are also just fantastic against elephants, as strong as elephants are. Look at the stockpiles, guys. Sully 10k, Raven 7k. Raven's reboom has been great. 12k for Vader. Got 42,000 there for Teutonic tanks. We've got 0 for purple, 0 for gray. These players will die soon. Sully needs some action. I think Sully's going to be... He's going to be the odd man out, most likely. Raven asking for gold because this is getting bad. And Raven says, let's stop this mindless fight. And Sully says, agreed. Okay. That's an interesting development here. I thought Sully was going to talk about it. He just says, snipe Vader. We go on to tanks. Well, he doesn't like Vader, and I understand it. I do wonder if they need him. Sully refuses to agree with Raven that his teammates should be killed off first. That's what Raven wants. He's like, we kill Gray, and then we move on to tanks. And he's like, no. We keep Gray alive. Yeah, Purple's King is still in a TC from Sully. But I don't think Sully... Like, Sully doesn't want the money that bad. Sully wants... He wants the game to flow properly. And Sully's like, it doesn't make sense to kill my allies. Tank's asking Red for more cannons. Red and Orange have fought very well together here. And Raven and Sully are allied. Will the others realize this? Listen, Green, if you wall this up, wall up the trade route, and start to trade towards Sully, you actually have a really good chance. You just can't continue to trade with the people you're going to eventually turn on here. You could still trade the other way. I don't think he's going to change his mind, though. Tank sends 4K gold to Vader. That's a decent amount. That's more than Madri was sending yesterday. Vader asked for gold, saying he was struggling, though, when he had 12,000. I like that. Dude, this kid is good at Diplo. And he's good at late game. What more can we say? It's smart thinking. Imagine getting sniped by a 14-year-old. I would be a little embarrassed. But I think the guy who did get sniped by him is currently watching, so. Raven says, we got a good chance for top 3. I can betray Red when we are 4. Okay. Well, Sully doesn't want Red to die. Darth Vader now making a move in towards Sully. Sully sees this. Now, there's multiple kings in Sully's base. I don't know if Red's going to realize this. Guys, this could be the end for Sully. He needs to run to the next castle. Now. Wait. Purple's in there. Purple's in there. That's Purple's king. Darth Vader wants a snipe. I don't think Purple knows. That's not his building being attacked. Red sure knows because of treason. And Purple will die. Darth Vader will get its snipe. Sully may actually survive, though. Unfortunately, 7K out of the game. He was trying to support with what he could. Salutes to him. Will Sully die next? These Mamelukes are insane. I think Sully needs to switch castles. It's super close. He's killing enough Mamelukes, and now he switches castles. He's alive. Darth Vader is a problem. I cannot wait to hear Sully talk about what he thinks about this player after the game. I mean, he's going to say it in the game, too, I'm sure. But he is a problem. Sully's saying he's dead now. Which is not a good sign if you want to be teamed with him. Gray's kind of dead, too. Darth Vader has played well. I don't think Sully is dead. I think he can reboom. But unless he has an actual ally, he cannot, he cannot survive. Listen, I'm going to call out Raven a little bit here. Raven has had a problem in this game. He has an alliance, and he doesn't back up his boys. Think of Eli, right? Had the alliance. Eli didn't think he was a bad guy. He never fought the people attacking Eli. And then, now he's got an alliance with Sully. But he's not fighting with Sully. He's just like, still kind of worried about that top 3 position, which is, of course, understandable. Red and Orange, they back up their team. They fight together. I think they'll be top 2, the way this goes right now. That's what it feels like. Sully's committed. Win or lose, he's committed for his squad right now. Let's see if he can get Raven involved in some way. I think Raven wants that 3rd position. And he wants that King Snipe on Gray. I don't know if Raven has it in him. I don't know if anyone can kill Red and anyone can kill Orange. Their positions are so strong. And Gray says, hey, Raven, Tanks is coming for you next, right? Dude, salutes to Arizona Ranger because he was very chatty in the community game. Obviously, here, you've got pros against him, and becomes a whole different ball game. But I like the attempt. Green, though, kind of savage. Says a little late for Diplo, I'd say. And Gray says it's never too late for Diplo. Especially for you. Yeah, let's go. Let's go, Ranger. Call him out. I mean, I think it'd be fun. Like, if I was in Gray's position, I'd just, like, go to tanks and lie. I go to red and lie. I go to everyone and just be like, yo, so-and-so is saying this about you and you and you. I just create chaos in all the ways I could. But I'm also the worst, so. Check stockpiles again. Where we at on that? Well, notice there's enough stone for a wonder for Raven and enough stone for a wonder for tanks and plenty of gold for both. Sully. I think Sully's going to snipe somebody. I think, like, Sully has definitely reached the point of sick of this. He's trying to reboom, but I think at a certain point, he might just try and make a run for somebody. I don't know who he can make a wonder run. Who he can make a run for, though. Maybe Green. Because Green he's actually allied with. Yellow says, how do I not know I'm next? Y'all seem pretty cozy over there. Yeah, Sully just doesn't trust him. Sully, though, is going to have to save Gray. Gray can't do it on his own. It's near the end here for Gray. Green is screwing up his chat here. He's saying to Red, I don't have time for distrust. This is a big moment for the King snipe. Gray's King is in here. We've got Conquistadors from tanks. Red has a kill and Tanks has a kill. They both want this. It is highly unlikely that the Hussars will get it. Usually the ranged units are going to get it here. And the King's going to run, and the King will be sniped, and that will be a snipe for tanks. Or will it? It will not be a snipe for tanks. Arizona Ranger survives, actually. And they might not think that's a big deal, but this is extra time for Sully and extra time for Raven to figure things out. All the Conquistador shots missed. The tanks can't believe it. Look at this. Raven's still chatting to the wrong person. Red says he's going to kill me, but I don't know who he's talking about right now. I think, is he talking about tanks, maybe? It's going to go down. Gray says, damn, 3 of you pushing me. Darth Vader now saying green. Oh, he thinks green is going to kill him, maybe? So he's calling him out. And Raven continues to speak to Gray and says, vamos, Red. And now he just realized his chat settings were wrong. Hey, at least he realized. Guys, at least he realized. Unlike certain people. Ace says, wait, I talked in wrong chat. We focused last 2 guys. He's saying this to Red and to Orange. He's reassuring them now. Tank says, guys, we need to finish it. And Raven says Red doesn't trust. Yeah, Red definitely doesn't trust him. Neither of these two do. This is what happens when you know it's going to go down to the end for 2 people. Or for 3 people, is they begin to think, okay, who's going to snipe me when I'm least expecting it? And Gray says, this is the time when you backstab each other. I can do this all day. Yo, let's go, Gray. Let's go. 0 on gold. 360 gold. Like 1,300, 1,200 elo. A bunch of better players. Gray is just like, I've got my schedule clear. Go ahead. Keep trying. And it's going to make this game spicy. Yellow says he's going to try and snipe Vader. That's going to be so tough. There's no way. There's no way he could snipe Vader. That would be epic. But he has to wait until everybody is attacking Gray and then go. So he's got to wait till Vader is there. Gray's going to send some light cap support just to distract, I guess. Oh, he's going to send it into Green's trade to be a pain. And okay, so we got the trio, the big 3. They're going to make their move now. Red, I think, like, of all the players here, Red is actually going to be the most actively looking in his base. He's clearly building up for that final 3 finish, and he does not trust Green, so he's probably always looking here. And now Gray says on me, but there's not Red here. Sully going to defend a little bit. It's Vader, but this is not a king snipe. He would have to travel across the whole map to get it. And Vader says, come on, Sully. I want these two. I want a 1v1 best of 21 between these two after this. Only, like, before each match, we have a dedicated 3-minute trash talk session. I think Sully would probably, you know... Sully's got a little bit more life experience in that regard. But, you know, I've been loving the little rivalry between these two. That's a lot of siege onagers. That's a lot of Mangadai. And yeah, maybe Sully, after clearing this up, can make a move on Vader. But Vader will have all of his army back at home then. Gray will die. Red says, damn, I just lost all my pop. Which is true. He's going to pop up with Rams. Tanks is complaining about the ram pathing. Raven is laughing at it. I mean, Gray is just holding on with trash bows right now, just making whatever military he's able to. It does not feel likely that Gray will survive. If I'm Gray, though, and I'm about to die, I would send my king to Sully. Would you guys agree with that? Give Sully the 25 bucks. That is allowed. You just can't delete your king. Doesn't matter how it dies. Sully has really had his back, and I think if it comes to that, I would like to see Gray try it. But Gray is in super survive mode and might not think of it. Sully's going to try something crazy here. Now, Raven sees this a mile away and says, go back, Sully. Sully says not for you, but he's not saying that to Green. He's saying that to Gray. So Gray is getting all the chat messages accidentally. Not for you. You have 60 castles. Raven says right. Yeah, so Raven doesn't believe him. I think that Raven's paranoia is proper here because Raven was allied with him. So Sully could see where the king was, go right in and get the snipe. I don't think that this will work for Sully. I think it's just too obvious. Kill Green. Green is allied with Sully. And, oh, Darth Vader. Did Raven screw up a chat here? Well, he just is... Well, he's calling out that Sully's in his base, and Red sees that Sully's in his base, and that Raven's not attacking him. So, yeah, it's very obvious. T90, next time remember your own handbook. It is literally in there, no donating kings. Is it? Well, we defy the handbook. I'm okay. As long as the king dies, I don't really care. I thought it was... I don't know. I'll read my own handbook next time. Unless I'm wrong. I don't know. Our base? Help? I think it makes sense. If you fight with someone for a long time, you could give them the kill. That's fine. What I don't want is if someone deletes their king to deny a kill, right? Deleting your king to deny a kill is not what we want. So Sully's not... he's just straight up not going to make progress here. Like, this is going to come down to if Raven or Darth Vader or Teutonic tanks have the guts to try and break the others. Basically, tanks is such a big animal in this game now. And there's always been other targets that it's always going to come down to those three. Red says, Green, you can trade to my side. Raven says, I'm enemy with yellow, backstabbing guy. And Red asks Green, am I a backstabber? Raven says, I don't know, but I need help. A lot of army here from Green going through. So, are we going to see a wonder here, guys? There's been a lot of wonders this Regicide Rumble. Because players turtle up. It's easier to build a wonder and defend it in their eyes than to fight off 3 people otherwise. Actually, like the wonders for that reason. It gives everyone kind of a chance. What has been a little disappointing here is normally you want a little bit of comeback potential. And Vader made the right plays to ally green and to ally orange. Eli was kind of killed off early, and so those three, I think, have always realized it's going to be them if they're patient. It's an impossible scenario for Sully to do anything now. And it's an impossible scenario for Gray to do anything. Unless the big three backstab each other. But I don't think they will. Gray's still not dead, though. Crazy. How have they not killed this guy? How have they not killed him? What's happening? Lack of population, maybe? Lack of coordination? I think lack of pop space available for military. Like, Orange has 48 military. It's not that much. Vader might make a run for it. He just researched treason again. Yellow trying to defend himself here against Mamelukes, Camel Archers, Camels, and Siege Onager. Not going to be easy. Gray's like, I'm going to go down soon. It's not going to work out. Letting Sully know. Sully says, I've got at least 3 hours. Okay, so Sully, also the fighting words. Just like Gray, he's like, go ahead. And listen, what you do there is you make red, green, and orange still think about their worry with each other. Red says, I am 14. I've got nowhere to be. My schedule is clear. It's a Sunday. All right. This is his job. It might be his first paycheck. I don't know. Okay. Red's an amazing player. I love how chatty he is. I love how he tries to snipe people and take risks. I love how, like, also how clearly anxious he is. And he's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like, guys, my favorite quote from him in the other game was when he said, shit, MB. My bad, my bad. He got called out for going in to kill somebody. And he goes, shit, MB. My bad. And he just wheels away with his siege towers. It was so funny. I would love it for Vader to snipe tanks. That would be legendary. He's gonna need help. Gray says, so Vader, friends? I don't know what Gray gets out of friendship at this point. I don't know if I mean, they're gonna focus down Sully, it seems. Wow, Gray says, Gray is talking so much smack. He says, we should be friends because it's not like you guys can kill me. Meanwhile, he's sitting over here with no economy, 80 light cav, and 60 crossbows. I don't know if that's the best way. Gray has continuously hit Green's trade, and I love him for that. Like, Green Ranger is just never had a safe trade route. And Arizona signaling this to Sully and saying attack. I don't think he's asking to attack. I think he's letting him know there is an attack. Either way, Sully's got bigger problems. And the situation for Sully could not be worse, really. He has no trade now. His trade, actually, his trade is still running here. So he does have trade, sorry, but it's disrupted. He's getting pushed. And guys, Vader, 14 years old, 30K gold in the bank. He said it to the wrong person, but he says, guys, I need gold. Last time, Tank sent him 5,000 gold. Green, hold of yellow while I kill Gray. Vader's getting the wrong person. And Sully also refusing to quit. Says, Raven, are we in the mid game yet? Because I'm almost warmed up. Dude. Sully and Arizona Ranger are legends. These other three are freaking camping away. They want the top three, and they can't kill them. And these two at death's door will not shut up about, like, basically how bad these guys are. And it's like, come on, you can't kill me. I love that. I love that. Grace says, nice Rams. Are you ready to switch sides yet? Let's go. Listen, they might not get any money in this game, but they're going to have their honor. He's holding with crossbows and light cav against paladins, siege rams, and conquistador. Crazy display. Crazy, crazy, crazy. And all this does, again, in my mind, is it builds up more opportunities where they think about, like, getting snipes. Tanks is impressed. He says, this guy is 1,300? How? How is this guy 1,300? He can't believe it. Arizona Rangers going to be happy to see that later on. Oh my God. Vader's SO are getting picked off. See, Gray has vision on this because he was allied with Perkins. So he sees all the tasty siege onagers coming through. And Raven is laughing at Tanks. He says, how are you not pushing trash bows? That's funny. Well, he is now. He is. And Sully's still trying to convince Raven to turn. And Sully is right. He says the longer this goes, the more likely Tanks wonder. 100%. I think Tanks will wonder when Sully and Gray are out of the game. That's the smart play. Because if you wonder now, everyone might unite against each other. Unfortunately, Gray is actually going to die now. Gray is actually going to be dead. Leaving Sully alone in this cruel, cruel world. Where there's a Raven, there's a tank, and there's Darth Vader on the other side. Not a good scenario to be in. Sully sending some resources here to Gray. And Gray did say red is out of gold, which we know is not true. Vader lying again, says, guys, I have 2k gold again. Meanwhile, he has 35k. And then Tank says BRB toilet. We may actually have somebody snipe somebody, get $25 while on the toilet. The odds are actually great. We've got bombard cannons, we've got Mamelukes, we've got paladins. This could be the end here for Gray. Now, apparently in the rules I said you can't do this. I don't know what's going on. All I know is I don't think Gray is going to run to Sully's base, but if he were to, Sully could take the kill. Gray is on the move. Gray is running. Vader wants that snipe. He just researched treason to find it, but he will be disappointed to see the king is on the move away. And so that king could go to Sully's base. C-Bomb says it doesn't say anything about that. Okay, well then someone got upset with me. Someone got mean. Someone got so judgmental and mean. I don't know what it is. It's not important. Sully's like, come on, Raven, for the 18th time. Come on, Raven. You should, come on, team with us here. And dude, Red is, you know what Darth Vader's looking for. 14 years old, got nowhere to be, and he's looking for that king. Treason's going to come in from Red again in 30 seconds. Guarantee it. Wait for it. Wait for it. There it is. Yep, he's looking for it. $25 sitting in the TC. Here he goes. He's going to go after Gray. Now, Gray is Persian, so that TC is going to stay up a while longer. But if Vader can get there, Vader will get snipe number 2 in this game. Remember, almost killed Eli in the game before. He's been one of the best snipers here in the sniping game. Now Tanks research treason, and Gray realizes he's about to die, so he runs into Sully's base. And Tanks sends more gold to Darth Vader, because Vader keeps saying he has no gold, even though he has 30,000 gold. Tanks says, sorry I was late. Toilet. So he actually went to the toilet? I thought he was kidding. So he patrolled forward and went to the toilet. Oh, and he clarifies for the viewers. Oh, this is great. He says, I washed my hands. That's good. Every time someone says something like that, everyone's like, did he wash his hands? Thanks for clarifying. Good hygiene here. Good hygiene. Well, there's now 2 kings in Sully's base. And Sully has tried to turn green against the others. Green is still trading into this corner. Like, they're all still trading to the same exact corner, so when the fighting begins, trade will go down. Here's my prediction. I predict that green, red, and orange will always stay together until the final 3. It's too late now for that to change. And I think that red needs to either find a key moment to snipe Tanks and become a legend, which would be incredible because Tanks has played so well and is in such a good position, or he may actually choose to pick off green because he wants the snipe and take second place. As weird as that sounds. He so badly... Look at him spend all this gold just to get these kings. He so badly wants the snipes. I think red would love to get green's king kill and then also get second place. Vader has researched treason so many times. There it is again. Guys, I've never seen a player in community games research treason this much, and I've been saying for years that people need to do it more. When they have this much gold, you should be spamming that crap. And oh man, everyone's coming in for it. Everyone's coming in for it. Now, there is a militia inside that castle. Your king is in another castle. Gray says it feels over. The camel archers from green are here. They want that easy money. The team of 3, they all have 1 snipe. Here comes Raven. And Raven! Oh! Where is it? It's in the TC! Holy crap! Holy crap! Okay, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Who's gonna get it? Who's gonna get it? Darth Vader gets it! Darth Vader gets it! Now, you still got Sully's king here. Ranger, well played. Very good game from you. You played an amazing one. I loved the fighting spirit. It was obviously very different than the community-style game. This is very intense. Tanks is pissed he didn't get it. And Sully is keeping himself alive by sniping the bomber cannons. He may actually survive a while longer. And Darth, I think, is lying again, saying, holy, my trade keeps going idle. Maybe it's true, but I think he wants more gold from his allies here. This will be the end for Sully soon. The king is actually on the run to this castle. He is not going down without a fight either. So, we'll see who gets this one. Remember, this is the king snipe game. It's amazing that all 3 are here right now. All 3 working together. They want that kill, though. And will they get it? The Rams can't be killed yet. There's the Mangadai. Yeah, they're lacking a little bit of siege. Guys, this would be the time. If you were going to backstab, this would be the time to do it if you are the other 3. I feel like the fortifications are too strong. Remember, yeah, these are all players that didn't actually make it to the final. It should tell you how good the final is going to be. Sully says, you guys realize there's no allied victory, and you can't win together. And Darth Vader says, yeah, but you are dead. Sully says, so who's next after me? And let's see. Now, Tanks is thinking about it. Tank says, guys, hold on. This is amazing. There's so much lies. Tank says, okay, Raven's going to go for you. You both have camel civs. I can't deal with Saracens. So Tanks is lying because Raven didn't say anything. And now Red goes back to it. He says, guys, I spent all my gold on treason. Which, again, is not true because he still has 30k. He has spent a lot of gold on treason, though. So it's like a half-truth. I feel like 14-year-olds are really good at half lies and half-truths. You know, that's when you learn we can't just fool on lie. We've got to give mom and dad a little bit of the details, but not the whole thing, you know? Not speaking from experience. Sully's just trying to get them to turn on each other right now. Sully, if he were to die now, gets $0 for this game. But if he can get the others to turn and kill one of them, he would get... he would get something. He would get something. He would get something. We got attack grounds from Darth. And Green, I think, notices it and is trying to run. And he deletes part of his wall and he goes away. Dude, Darth Vader's incredible. He's incredible. He tries to kill so many kings. Definitely one of my favorite players of Regicide Rumble 5. Green notices. Green runs away. So now Green and Red are going to be against each other. Sully still lives for now. And the trade should go down. Raven says, still early, pleb. Yeah, Raven's like, dude, that was way too obvious. But now trade will stay up for Vader because he's trading to tanks. And then trade will go down for Raven because he's trading down here through Vader. Sully calling them out. He's like, listen, tanks is top scorer. He's still not really pushing me. Sully's going to ally Raven now, which Raven might actually need. So Sully's still here. And Raven says change of plans. Because Raven's in trouble. Raven needs the help now. Sully will live. Sully will live. And Sully is probably sick of this. He's like, you change your plans now, you dummy? Like, what about before? He says, what is it now? We'll see how Sully chooses to play this. He may actually be so annoyed that he might not choose to reboom. Because it doesn't make sense for him to help. But Sully says, I'll hold off orange while you deal with that. Okay, so that's an interesting change now. Green is starting to lose lots of castles. Tanks, 50k gold. Tanks is going to be really happy that red and green are fighting each other. This has gone all according to the plan for Tanks. Nothing has gone against the plan. He's gotten a snipe. He's had good trade. He's had valuable, strong allies that are now turning on each other. And Raven says to Red, why are we doing this? Red might honestly say, I don't know. Raven says, I thought we had a deal. Obviously, they got to focus a lot. And now Vader says, want a team again. What? What? You guys are allied for like 2 hours? He tries to kill you and that's it? Man, if Dogao and Lewis would have seen this, think of what would have happened in that other game. Those guys are like, it's not about the money. We'll both go down. Screw you. And these guys are like, well, actually, maybe it was a mistake killing 18 of your castles. Raven says, you're doing it wrong, like clear Sully, then tanks. Why like this? Think I won't notice. Now you killed my trade. Yeah, Raven, you were just not the smartest to trade that direction in the first place. I'll maintain that. But Sully, now it could be the 3v1 against tanks, potentially. Because Raven's allied with Sully. Raven says, send me gold. You wasted mine for no reason. That's fair. I actually think that's really fair. Watch Vader say, I don't have gold. I would love that. He's got 33k. I think giving him 2k gold just so he can get his trade running, though, is fine. He says, how much gold you got? For real, for real. No lying. How much? Dude, Vader's my favorite. If you lie, I don't send. How do you even know he's lying? How can you verify he's lying? How you even check? Stream snipe? It's fair. Red says, nah. If you say 1k, I know you lying. Well, he's only got 3k, though. It's not too far off.
No.
Raven says, actually 2k, 11. See, that seems believable. Would you agree, chat? Darth says, how much you want? Meanwhile, Sully's trying to defend himself, by the way. Raven says, how much can you spare? All right, so they're just talking it out over here. Raven says, I would say at least 5k. Darth says, I have 5k. Yeah, well, that's not true. But I respect it. I respect it. Red is here attacking Sully again. Sully needs Red to be allied, and Red sends 2k to Raven. And Sully says, the game is in your hands, Raven. I mean, Sully is toast. He is just toast. He could, like, still trade to some areas down here, but it's not looking good. And Raven's like, the game is not really in my hands anymore without trade. And if only you could trade this way towards Sully. So, like, Sully's trading this way. Vader says, honestly, Green, we need to kill Orange. Well, yeah. Is he just going to go right now? He says, that looks like a wonder prep. Well, yeah, that's what Sully's been saying. This kid's insane. He has a thought of, oh, I want to kill that guy. And then he just does it. He tried it on Eli. He tried it on Raven. He tried it on Sully. He tried it on Gray. He tried it on John. I'm pretty sure he tried it on Purple. He can't help himself. And I think he's about to try it right now. It's just perfect for the King Snipe game. Just perfect. We need to make sure we get top 3. This is red to green. Tank says, yo, what you doing? Please no. Okay, you come nice, he says. Red says, I am a slow player.
Yes.
Tank says yes, all good. Tanks, I think, is like, well, he's 1400 elo. You know, let's just have his bat. He's been a good teammate to me. Also, I think odds are pretty good that Tanks didn't watch the game where Vader played before. Like, I think most people, a lot of people here didn't see the community games with Vader. But that's smart to just kind of explain it away. It's a lot of trebs right now. And he is sending support now.
Yes.
Raven is going to trade to Vader again. Now, if Raven and Vader actually team against Tanks, Tanks will lose all of his trade, Raven will keep his trade, but Vader will lose his trade. Raven says Spanish is easy to kill with double camel. Okay, that's true. Mameluke, Camel Archer, Camel, Ram, or Bomber Cannons could work. Raven says we need to trust each other. Darth says I trust you now fully. If I get Snipe Orange, this is all worth it, I think is what he means to say. Dude, it is amazing to me that Raven and Darth Vader have settled their quarrel and are gonna work together now, supposedly. Now, I think, Raven, if your king is a little too obvious, Darth Vader's gonna see that, and he's gonna try and kill it, because that's just who he is. You know, it's like, I like him, but, Anyway, Sully's about to die. Sully's had an amazing game. He has more kills than anybody. He just hasn't really had a team alive to work with. Maybe he holds again. I don't know. He does still have trade to Purple's markets. Purple's markets have kept him in this. But he hasn't been able to expand. I mean, Wood is probably running dry on the map. Only 100k now. It's 3 players versus 1. Here comes Red's Trebs. Someone asked for Siege, and Red just said yes. Takes a while to get here. Can someone get the freaking SO, says Darth. Yeah, the Siege Onager's a problem. There's just one of them. And Tank says, I do. Raven is saying to Sully, hard to do it, Sully. Yeah, you're wish-washy, bro. You're not going to support Sully. It's all good. I get it. You need the top 3. He says, I'll try and do something you guys never do. Real alliance. What does that mean? I think he wants to kill Sully. Green wants to kill Sully, 100%. He's lurking in the shadows to kill Sully. He wants that king. That's why he's here. It's 25 bucks. This is the sniper's game. This is what these people do. This is why they're here. Oh, he wants the snipe. Will Darth Vader let him? Sully says, no problem, fair play. All right, I respect. Raven, the best decision for Raven is to just turn on Sully again. There's no way that, like, trying to defend him now when they don't have a trade route made any sense. As Sully doesn't hold it against him. Now, there's Camel Archers underneath this castle. The GG's called from Sully. The king is on the move, actually, and Green will get it. So Raven gets King Snipe number 2 after he sniped 3 kings in his game earlier in the week. So continues to be an amazing king sniper, and now we got the final 3. And now Red just deletes his trebs so he can get pop space at home. And Raven says, Red, we do it. And if they do it, Tanks will wonder, right? It feels like Tanks should probably wonder. The thing he didn't do in his other game, which went on forever.
Yes.
Raven says, need to clear our trade, just wait. And Darth is going to try and speak. The 14-year-old's going to be the mediator in the group. And says, guys, how do we want to end it? Raven says, back to base, then we decide. Okay, that's fair.
Yes.
Tanks just says yes. Now, if we start to see a bunch of vills start to group up in one particular area, I think we have to talk about the wonder potential. Red is asking Orange to delete this And he only deleted the towers and not the castle. You freaking snake. That's so funny. Yeah, sure, I'll delete it. Meanwhile, the castle's still going to kill the trade. Darth says, Orange, can you delete that? Like if you turn on me, that is scary. And he says, keep the castle. Okay. Tanks is just playing along, playing along, playing along. Playing along. Okay, I think we're going to have an overwhelming answer when I ask this question. Type the name of the player remaining who you want to win this game, chat. Usually it's like, kind of split. I know who I want to win, and it's come through very clear with the commentary. Yeah, I'm on Team Vader, baby. Team Vader. For a lot of different reasons. One of my favorite things about Red is what I thought even before the game, is he just can't help himself, and he just has to kill people. He says, let me get my trade away first. Is Tanks doing anything crazy? Not really. He's bringing his stuff home. He is going to sit next to this. And Vader says, I mean, why not? He says, can I have gold, guys? I am, like, broke as shit. I have 10 trade cards. He killed Green's trade, and he's asking for gold. The audacity. The audacity. Green's actually low on gold. Green only has 5,000. And now Tanks is going to give 3,000 to Red and 3,000 to Green. And he says, thank you so much. Tanks says, there you go, bros. I mean, Tanks is loaded. He says, suspicious. Oh, is he going to call out Tanks for not giving enough? Or is it the army? Oh, this is... There was something here that was suspicious. He signaled. Orange did, I think. Orange has always been a buddy with Red. Says, we kill, I have no siege, bro. You got counter units. And so, like... But guys, Red moved his trade. This is what I wanted Raven to do a long time ago. Red actually is moving his trade away from this corner. That way, when he like, goes against Tanks... He won't lose it. And Tanks will lose it. And Tanks... He actually is going to enemy Teal. Wait a second. I think that Red just told Tanks to enemy Teal. So these markets get destroyed. And then he has no one to trade with. Actually, hold on. Is Vader trading from this market to the other one? I don't think he... I'm still trying to figure this out. I think some of his trade is still running through Tanks. Now, Raven doesn't have a market to trade with because the market down here was deleted. So, Vader will need a new market, I think. Oh, and he has one here. Okay, so that actually works. That actually works. Okay. Tanks should be like... Tanks should know he's going to be 2v1'd. I think he'd be a fool not to, and I think... But right now, he still believes that Red is on his team. He still... Everything he's saying, he still thinks that, you know, this 14-year-old kid is going to be happy with second place. And he's telling Red, he says, like, are we going to kill Green? Red just keeps saying, this is scary, this is scary, this is scary. He says, okay, I need a break. I need 5 minutes, okay. They pause. He's so stressed. He's so stressed. So they just pauses here. We got a 5-minute intermission. It's fair. Listen, my doctor told me recently, he's like, man, like, what do you seem to be very stressed. I'm like, actually, I think it's my job. He's like, oh, what do you do? I'm like, well, let me explain. It's a very intense RTS game, which is over 20 years old. And I got this watch that tracks my heart rate. And when I'm casting or playing, my heart rate's just through the roof. Anyways, I guess we got a break. I mean, thanks to everyone for watching. Hope you enjoy this intermission. I don't think I can run ads on the platforms at this point. I think they automatically ran. So we could try it. I mean, do we try it? Maybe just run some ads now for people who aren't subbed. I'll try it. On the Twitch side, maybe just do it, run a minute. Why not? I think they already ran, though, because I saw a bunch of people say, Worst possible time for an ad. Even though this has been 2 hours, so yeah, it literally won't let me run any ads right now. So thank you everyone for being here. Support's been amazing. We'll get back in the game and just wait. Red is stressed right now. We did have a player go to the bathroom during the game without a pause earlier, which surprised me a little bit. On Twitch, we got a poll running on who you're rooting for if you wish to vote, as if that's even up for debate at this point. It's been a fun game. Raven was second place in his game. Tanks was third place in his game in their first games. Vader, I think, was second as well. So these players are truly great. It's been a great way. Remember, we got the grand final with all the winners after this. I want to say thanks to some people. Vulture Rock, Luke second. Just Name Me Bomb, Jettas, DM Bent, I Sin. Thank you, everybody. To see so many people come back. It's still been around for, in many cases, years. And then see people here for the first time. It's been great. I've had so much fun. I'm also slightly anxious that this game will not restart. Because, like, there used to be a bug where games wouldn't restart after a pause. But he said 5 minutes, so we're going to wait. I'm only slightly anxious about this. Very good point from Shulker. So he says, T90, when the game is paused, we can't see chat. And I bet red and green are talking. That's actually a very fair point. So when they restart it, it will show all the chat, and I'll have to page up to go through the history. But it could be a lot to read through. That's a smart move. Pause, and then you make a full game plan here with whoever. Could also be playing both sides, because you don't want to get caught chatting and then get your king killed while the game is running. Yes. So, oh, here we go. Oh, here we go. Here we go. We're back. Okay. Okay, so as red left, Tank started talking behind his back. He says, are we going to bleep red or what? You both actually have versus me. I don't think I have good odds against anyone, but I want it to end. Red gets back, says, and so red didn't chat, actually. He says, so guys, let's be real here. So Tanks is trying to, that pause gave Tanks an opportunity to make a plan to backstab here. But we now have Tanks turning on Raven. This castle is going to kill some of Raven's trade. Yes. And red says, let's kill orange, and he's going to make the move. Here we go, people. Here we go. I think Tanks accidentally turned on red right there. I don't know what happened, because he's telling, or not red, sorry, green. He's telling green to start the game already. But this seems to be 2 players against Tanks. And I still think if Tanks has any chance, because he's correct, the civs are not good for him. If he has any chance, he has to go for a wonder. Green turned on him. Red says so sorry. He feels bad about it, it seems. And green says sorry, amigo, and is apologizing to Tanks. Red says so sorry, like genuinely. Red actually is so emotionally invested into this game. He feels so bad. And Tanks just says why. I mean, let's not forget, like, we, from our perspective, have known that Tanks was going to be Final 3 for a long time. But like, Tanks and Darth Vader were very close the whole game. So, I mean, I think Red tried to kill everybody except Tanks. Maybe thought about it, but didn't. We have the wonder. We have the wonder. This is the play. And Tanks, this is maybe his only way. He's going to go try and win this game for himself with a wonder victory. 1v2. This is something Tanks didn't do in his game against Shixo and Kamigawa, which I think could have worked. We know he's crazy at holding, but he's going to start losing his base fastly. Wow. Fastly. Okay. Fastly loses base. Great English. He's going to lose his base quickly. And he needs to prep himself fast. That's where I was going with that. To deal with the pain that could be coming to his base. Now, trade is off limits for him. He will lose all of his trade. What he will get is a lot of population space for military. But I think he's going to lose... I think he's going to lose a lot of his base here. And I don't think he can do it. Even with 60k gold, I don't think it's enough. I think Spanish will really struggle against Mamelukes and Camel Archers. And, most important thing, green still has trade and red has 50k gold now. I don't know why there's camel archers headed this way. But green has a little bit of trade anyways. Yeah, green and red have trade. So I think tanks may end up getting third here. Okay, so red says, I have been lying about my gold. I have 50k gold in the bank. Red, don't tell him. He says, prepping for a rainy day. Oh, he can't help himself. He's cackling right now. Giggling right now. Cannot help himself. He has to let them know while they're alive. I mean, green can't turn around and say, yo, orange, let's team up on Vader now, because then he loses his trade. So I think, and also, I think Raven has a lot of respect for red now. I could be wrong, but Raven's having fun, dude. Raven's having fun. He's laughing. He can't believe it. So good. Anyways, tanks. Gonna complete this wonder soon. Quick look at the stockpiles again. He's loaded, but what are you supposed to make? I think Conquistador is your best unit. Maybe like Conquistador Skirm. And Vader says, green, if you just need gold, ask. And Raven says, well, if you got 50k, I could use, no? Yeah, dude, Vader, you should have never told him, bro. Because now you can't, like, lowball him. You can't give him... You can't give him, you know, 1,000 now. Okay, he sends him 10%. That's fine. 4,500 gold is a lot of gold. Progress is being made. Wonder just now completes. There's the beautiful Spanish Wonder. And Tanks knows that this area of his base will be very important, so he's starting to build up here. Prepping as he's not slowly losing his base. He's very quickly losing his base. Now, Green's army reinforcements kind of come through Red's base. And if there was ever a time for Vader to be vulnerable, this would be the moment. You know, not now. I think like near the end of when they're going to take out the Wonder, if they take out the Wonder. If you move now, then tanks might hold. So it's really tricky. But still, $25 is $25. Raven has 2 snipes. Vader has 2 snipes. But just look how fast Paladins are dying. Like, Paladin's such a good unit to have usually. Against Camel units, though, no bueno. It's actually the layers of walls that are going to... Oh my god! Look! Look at the layers! He's going full Fat Slob. Full Legend of Wall. There's like not a tile on the map that isn't covered. That's your best play. But clumped up walls will go down to siege rams in time. Siege rams take it out pretty quickly. 320 years. It's $100 for first place here. And red saying to green, remember to make forward buildings. Green is actually producing from the other side of the map, so that's a fair point. Oh, sorry about that. Thing is, you don't really need forward buildings if your camel archers never die. So, you know, that's a pretty big factor here. Guys, if your defense is just purely walls, can you try and snipe somebody right now if you're tanks? Like, if he researches treason, sees the king is in that tower, I wouldn't mind him going with 40 paladins to try and kill green. Is he going to think about that? No, he's not. And it's understandable that he wouldn't. He's trying to snipe the siege onagers and trebs and whatnot, but I do think it's something to consider. He does have a TC up here. Yeah, actually, that's a pretty big deal. Could produce a few vills and build a castle in the trade. That would be huge. Any type of distraction, like even just production from up there could be nice. Well, guys, I'm happy for Tanks because it felt like Tanks missed one element to his game the other day. And that was he missed the Wonder. When he was going to be 1v2, he didn't have the Wonder then. I was screaming for it. This was the right play. Otherwise, there's no way you can win against 2v1s in these scenarios. 291 years. There is still a lot of walls. I think they might need to reposition. Tanks may actually do this. The lack of siege rams is the problem, in my opinion. Trebs and siege onagers, not the play. Has to be rams. They did, though, like, they don't have to worry about this whole section of wall now that they've gone through here. So they need to get, you know, quite a ways here. Now, if tanks were to win with this wonder, and the score remains as it is right now, Vader would be second, and then Raven would be third. It is determined based on the in-game score. I don't expect the score to change much. And also, because I know Vader so well, I think if it's clear they're not going to take out the wonder from tanks, Vader is 100% going to go after Raven's King. 190%. He's going to turn around, and he's going to try and kill that king before the game ends. Guaranteed. It'd be the smart play for both of them to try it. But not now. Not now. Good teamwork for now. It must be really tough to get, like, your army together right now if you're tanks. He's producing out all these buildings, but they're, like... There's so many blockades. They need to keep bringing in the rams. And ideally, you kind of ignore this little section of wall, and you have to move through this layer. Guys, this is crazy. They don't even know what they're in for yet. This is crazy from tanks. Just insanity. How much stone wall is that? Look at that. 800 pieces of fortified wall. And again, they're kind of getting caught off by random units from tanks, distracting. You know, he sniped some siege here or there. You'll notice he'll, like, pull the paladins around to snipe bombard cannons every now and then. 250 years now. But progress is being made on a new section. That's crazy commitment. They can't really go this way. As much as well, they could try it, but it's like, you got to go through so much garbage. I think you just got to continue to move. Okay, now the siege rams are doing what I was expecting. And you would need bombard cannons behind the walls. Tanks is trying that, but he actually doesn't have the population space for more. You got to let the rams do their thing right now. And you got to retask them constantly. It's such a pain. There's actually, this reminds me of a scenario. It's an old scenario called Wall Builders. You have 7 players who just build walls, and you have 1 player with rams. I'm not even kidding. It's a whole map, and you, like, the villagers get a head start, and then the ram guy goes in at, like, 2 minutes. Or I don't know what time exactly, but it was actually really fun. You know, when I had nothing else to do. See, the problem now is the bombard cannons are going to start to snipe these rams. So tanks will hold. Tanks has made it 120 years. They're struggling here, guys. I think tanks will do it. I think tanks will actually do it. And where's Sully right now? Sully's going to be screaming, "I told you so!" But again, red and green, they're happy with top 3. If they meddled in Sully's affairs and allied Sully, I don't think they would be top 3 right now. Actually, would have been, maybe these scenarios would be slightly different if we only rewarded number 1. Not saying I think it's bad to reward 2nd and 3rd, but it's just a thought. I mean, Spanish builders build walls faster than these rams can take them down. That is a lot of rams, though, from Darth. Come on, Darth. Gotta get them together. Gotta get them together. I wanted to see the gold count right now. Tanks. Tanks is only 7k gold now. And if I could find a market, it is 830 gold to buy 100 stone. So he's obviously bought a lot of this stone. Raven's army, maybe it's better suited going over here or something. The problem is you actually can't use your army right now until the rams get you close to what's over here. But progress is being made. And Vader's telling green to target down the bomber cannons. I mean, good luck. There's bomber cannons in there. Green should go full bomber cannon, and red should just go full siege ram. That's what should happen here. Yeah, the bomber cannons need to be killed. They're sniping the rams. That's a lot. That's like so much military clumped up there. Also, green just killed 3 of the bomber cannons. He killed them all. There's no cannons in that group now. Huge. He is going to have more from this workshop. And more from this workshop and more from this workshop. This might be really close. There's not that many extra layers of walls, guys. Once they take out these walls, it's just buildings and towers, which is way easier for them to deal with. This is going to be photo finish. Halfway. So many rams back here, too. You got to gather them up and bring them forward all the time and retask them. Easier said than done, as is everything in these games. All right, chat. Will tanks do it? Yes or no? 1 or 2? I'm leaning towards 2. Because he's run out of wall. These pieces will break. And then I think the Wonder will be rangeable from outside the other layer of wall. Again, keep an eye on the Kings. If it is clear that they will take out that Wonder, I would expect Darth and Raven to think about it. Raven says he's low on gold. He has 6K. Now, do they realize that they can just wedge themselves down here and not worry about this big group here? It could be seen as a little bit of a waste of time to continue to take out these pieces, but also if you take out like this layer of wall, it becomes much easier to push the whole, the rest of the group. Because now your Mamelukes can actually attack something for once. I love the forward production from green and from red. I love how orange will still try and snipe things randomly where he can. And oh, I forgot about this. Darth says I'm not going to send gold to tanks. So for those that didn't watch Darth play the first time, you really got to go back and watch it. But he was pushing and could have won the game taking out someone's Wonder, and he accidentally sent gold to the guy he was trying to kill instead of his teammate. I forgot about that. It was the same scenario, basically. He went to send gold to an ally, sent it to the person that was defending, and out of gold. And that would be Sally. Tanks is now out of gold. Darth Vader's a legend, man. Darth Vader's a legend. I've really enjoyed his story and his rise throughout these games, but they have not finished off Tanks yet. Tanks has played amazing. But guys, I'm not seeing enough resistance here from Tanks. The Wonder is so close to these guys. Still with 100+ years. And Darth and Raven, they've rallied together, even though Darth Vader tried to kill him earlier and lied about how much gold he had and everything that happened. They work together here. They're going to take out Tanks. Tanks will probably die then, too. Tanks has his king inside the castle. And Raven says, at the gates of Constantinople. Let's go. What crazy progress. I can't believe... I mean, there's still so many walls around. And they've taken so many out. They both have 2 snipes. They would both love a 3rd. That Wonder will go down. And Darth says, don't get cocky. Darth tells him, don't get cocky. The job's not done yet. Tanks is going to call the GG. Now, where will Tanks go with his king? Who will get the snipe? Tanks realizes it's finished. Asks players not to resign and not to delete their kings. Green is going for the snipe. Red is going for the snipe. They've researched trees, and they both have to try and find that. I don't think they'll get to it. The Wonder will go down, though. We'll get to watch this beautiful Wonder fall. The king's not being attacked yet, so we can wait. This will be the end for Teutonic Tanks. A great player. A really great player. It felt a little inevitable. He got at such a good position, it felt inevitable that this would happen. Okay, here we go. Wonder will fall at 97 years. We'll enjoy the crumble, and then we have to prepare for chaos. It falls in the corner. Well played, Teutonic Tanks. He's not dead yet. He's not dead yet. His king is still there. He should still be focused down. His king is, like, stuck in a traffic jam, though. And now is when I would be very paranoid if I were green and red that moves would start to be made on my king. They're going to have to grind him down, apparently. They're going to have to finish him. Tanks, I don't think, knows where his king is, if I had to guess. I'd be very surprised if he knows where that king is, unless he has it on a separate control group number, which would maybe be smart. Did Green find it? I think Green just has units running through there. I don't think Green actually found it. And Tanks now, still hearing treason, has the king in a military group. It's in the grouping there that I think he's going to send into battle to defend. Now, a true king would go out this way, go down with his people, but I don't know if this is what Tanks is actually trying to do. I don't think he has any clue. And there goes the king. Now, who will get it here? Raven or Darth? Ah! Raven gets it! Raven snagged it during the final moments. I don't think either of them had any clue. And Raven gets his third snipe, just like he did in that first game. Raven gets those snipes, man. All right. Well, now this gets interesting. Raven was already on the way back. And Vader doesn't realize Tanks died. He says, Tanks, can I have king, please? And Raven says he's dead, which is honestly nice. He didn't need to say that. And Vader's going to be like, oh. Okay, so everybody's got to scurry back home. I don't know how good camel archers are at destroying castles, but they're not bad. And, you know, we predicted this moment here. It's just 2 people left. Who's going to win the game? Vader's got all of his stuff forward. He's going to start to scurry on back. He should turn now. He should turn. Yeah, that's the smart play. You don't wait. He turns now. Raven's going to turn. Everything's going to be crazy here. Let's remember stockpiles. Only 3,000 gold for Raven. It is 2,600 for Vader, who lied to Raven constantly saying he didn't have gold. Who received tons of gold from Tanks because he continued to tell Tanks, I don't have gold. We've got crazy trebs from Raven. He was prepared for this moment. He's going to bring in the siege. There's also siege here as well. The Mamelukes and Hussars are on the way back. There's the trebs. The castles will start to fall here for Darth Vader. Who will win first place? This should be way better for the Saracens here, I think, unit comp-wise. Camel archers are strong, but I like Mameluke and 170 HP camels more. Raven's production is insane. I think we're seeing the difference between him and a 1400. Look at the waypoints for Vader. The waypoints for Vader are still going the other way. That needs to be fixed in the heat of the moment. There's no 5-minute break now. Raven is so ready for this. Before the game, his former teammate, Ween Dinchester, who will be in the final, said he really hopes Raven does well. He felt bad about what happened there. This is his moment. But he's losing his trebs. I think Red is going to figure this out eventually. All those units down there. He's got enough units at home. The Saracen power is defending. That treb will get sniped. The king will be alive. And now we look at stockpiles. And at least based on what I'm seeing right now, I think Vader can produce for longer. Vader is more food. Vader has more gold. Raven does have more on gold. I think that's still some remaining trade carts, though, that are inevitably going to go down. The camel archers are the key right now for Raven. He's got all of his military here. But the Mamelukes are just insane right now. And Vader says, want to ally again? And Raven's just freaking laughing. He can't believe he would offer such a thing. You guys are in the midst of a battle for first place. You can't keep doing this. It's so chaotic. It's like, well, actually, we've done this enough. I need to change it up. He might die. You know, it might be his tactic to survive here. He just realized he's got units down there. That's important. He's still sniping the trebs. Now, it's costly. When he snipes the trebs, he's losing his Mamelukes. Green's going to win this game. Green's going to win this game. Raven just simply a skill difference here. Has rallied all of his production together. And he's ready for the snipe. Those trebs need to be sniped. Raven with a beastly play. The king actually changed castles at the perfect time. That bought him an extra couple seconds. I don't think he can get away from this one, though. Darth Vader tried. But Raven is going to win this game. There's just no way. There's no way he survives now. He doesn't have any distracting units. The Camel Archer should automatically kill it. This will be the end of Darth Vader. The king is on the way. The king... It's not in the castle! It dies! Maybe a bit of a bug there where it didn't garrison for him, but I don't think it would have mattered. Raven wins the game. What a game it was. 3.5 hours. And what a finish. I mean, listen, everyone who was in this game earned this position based on their sniping of kings in previous games. The storyline here, though, based on the spawns, was really going to be that the 3 pros were kind of stacked together around Darth Vader. Sully tried to rally the troops against the pros. And a lot of those, you know, Raven and Darth Vader and Teutonic tanks realized it does not make sense for us to split up. We need to go into the final 3. Darth Vader will get paid for second. Raven will get paid for first. Tanks will get paid for third. And then they'll all... They all earned their spot because those were the only players that ended up killing kings. Vader killed 2. Raven killed 4. And then Teutonic tanks killed 1. That was a really fun game. And yeah, Vader couldn't talk himself out of that one. I do wonder if, like, the moment where Darth Vader didn't realize that Tanks was killed, I wonder how much that decided here. Because, like, it felt to me as though he didn't have his army gathered mainly because of that issue. And had he realized the king died... And by the way, there's no, like, noise sometimes. It's a DE thing. I've complained about it many times. I feel like, you know, had he known about it, then maybe he would have had all of his army around. Now, what I love there from Raven is he actually produced lots and lots and lots out of all of his stables. We didn't see a lot of stables there from Darth, and that was the issue. He had, like, 14 stables, and I would bet that Raven probably had, like, 40 on the map because he built up everywhere, so... Darth says, at T90 official, I don't play with sound. Wait, Darth Vader's in my chat. Hold on, Darth Vader. You don't have any sound? Like, 0 sounds? Or you just don't have certain sounds enabled? Can you... Nothing? Like, you don't have headphones? Like, can I... Really? Can I hear what? That's crazy. That is insane. He played that whole game without sound. Probably pretty good for your ears, in all honesty. Dude, you could buy some headphones with your winnings here from Regicide Rumble. I can't really keep up with his responses right now just because chat's flying. What a game. Salutes in chat for everybody, please. Salutes in chat for everybody, please. That was a classic. It was clear that those players... Someone just said Deaf Vader. Oh, man. Listen, it's very clear that those players were the best players that didn't quite win, right? It was just a quality game the whole way through. Well played there from everybody. There's the res collected. Tanks was hoarding. So was Vader. So was Raven. Raven, I doubted Raven so many times. I got annoyed with Raven so many times for not switching his trade positions. And the Mad Lad actually did it. He was clearly third when it came to the race with Teutonic tanks and Vader, and he actually won that game with 4 king snipes. It's actually insane. And anytime there was a king to be sniped, he had his units lurking around there too. That was very impressive. Anyways, that's not the end of Regicide Rumble 5. That's just the setup for the final. Thanks everyone for watching. Obviously, if you're watching on YouTube, leave a like, leave a comment. I got to see, hold on. We still want to find out Darth Vader sound situation. Darth, just say, I'm going to pull up your chat history if you responded. He just said nothing, no sounds gaming. Okay. Wow. Well, I think it's time for meme review, guys, before we move on. All right. I think we're good. We got the memes. People are posting more memes. Let's take a look back from the top, back from the beginning. Started off with this one. This was a long time ago, but Darth Vader went for it, and he was super close to getting the snipe there on Eli at the start of the game. Well played, well played, well played. I like that. I like that. Okay. What do we got next? We got this one. Okay. Also with Eli's king. Nice little pun. Evaded you. I think I said that, though. I said that. I got a couple laughs. That was my idea. You stole my joke. All right. That's good. That's good. I like it. I like it a lot. What do we got here? This poor Tanks. Or not poor Tanks, poor John. This is my favorite so far, personally. It was just 2 volleys from Tanks. And John was gone. So, he did not last very long. Well played to whoever made that one. Here we got, oh, God, this isn't even this game. I forgot about this. We have the updated meme format from the other day. Whoops. Sorry. I thought the memes were only going to be relevant for the game we just watched. Whoops-a-daisies. Okay, here we go. Well, Arizona's not going to like this. But I like the meme. This is good. I also love it when people add the player colors onto the meme. It really adds something special. Arizona Ranger was still really confident, though. I like the energy anyways. Refused to die. Next meme. This is good. Think it over. This is a good one. I like it. Oh, God. This is the best. I love this. When Gray had the crappiest little army and just kept talking smack anyways. Oh, yes. Let's go, Gray. You are a legend for that. Because that was a very different game than the first game you played. Holy. Okay. Keep it moving. We got more, guys. We also have a final here. This is this was essentially what we did for like 30 minutes, guys. We were just all giving our input and our commentary on who was going to end up getting the snipe on Arizona Ranger. There wasn't a doubt he was going to be sniped. It was clear. And, well, you know, it was still a good story. This is great. This is Tanks. The whole game. The whole game. That's not true exactly. He sniped some people. He had great eco. He was active. He may have been a little bit scared about all the camels out there. But Tanks was just chilling, you know, getting that eco built up. Darth Vader's in my chat right now, and he says, "Take that, Tanks." Darth Vader, did you respond on why you don't play with sound? Is this like a preference? You don't have to tell if it's something personal, you don't have to say anything, but I assume you can hear me right now, so that's wild to me. If I don't play with sound, I lose so many villagers. He says because my PC has terrible volume. That's crazy to me. 0 sound. All right, good to know. Darth Vader, guys, I have like 50k gold. This is when Darth was flexing at the end. Darth was just flexing. Oh, man, it was so funny. And Green killed the guy with 50k gold, too. It was impressive. I think we got 2 more. Oh, God, what is this? All right, well, it is still Regicide, all right? But there's wonders sometimes, too. I forgot I selected this meme. This is true. Listen, the wonders are necessary. And then here we've got this, which ends it on a high note with Vader. Vader, when we get the funds to you from Regicide Rumble 5, I live your life, but maybe get a headset or something, you know? If your PC has rough volume. Get a headset. It can even be a Darth Vader mask for all I care. Just hear the game. It's wild to me that you don't have an actual headset, all right? T90, when I go pro, I will be playing without sound. Really? You're going to die on that hill? Okay. You're not, because you're going to get like scouts in your wood line, and you're not going to hear it. But it would be fun. I can't wait to cast it. I can't wait to cast it. Okay.